So many of you know that I'm a comic book nerd, but most do not. And in order to sort of mix some things up on my channel, as well as tap into something that I thoroughly enjoy, we're going to start doing some comic book related things, as well as some arc reviews and such. And for the first video, I'd like to start with the hype surrounding the new Avengers movie, Infinity War. But let's dive into this. If you have not seen the new movie, Avengers Infinity War, please stop this video. I do not want to spoil it for you. But Infinity War is basically a movie about Thanos, and if you saw the end credits, you see a Captain Marvel logo. And Captain Marvel being affiliated with Thanos storyline isn't new. In fact, it was in Captain Marvel when we first got our big glimpse into Thanos' world. Captain Marvel 25 through 33 is basically known as the Thanos War, so who the hell is Thanos? It's important to note that the Captain Marvel in the cinematic universe is a different character than the one here. This one is centered around Rick Jones and Marvel, and the MCU is centered around Carol Danvers. Nonetheless, it's still Captain Marvel. To briefly summarize what got us to this point, Thanos was first referenced in Iron Man 55 when the Titans were introduced. Titans are this advanced race of folk living in paradise on Saturn's moon. It is ruled by Mentor and his sons, one of which is Thanos. Thanos got power hungry, created some weapons, and that got him exiled. Thanos then goes on his conquest, building an army and causing hell throughout the galaxy. So Mentor asks his father, Kronos, to help him solve this issue of a ravaging Thanos. So he creates Drax the Destroyer, who was created to solely go and destroy Thanos. But initially this plan fails after the planet they fought on is destroyed and Drax is weakened. Drax is an interesting character, and this is not really the same one that you see in Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie that is. But we won't go too much into him right now. So the story from Iron Man 55 was expanded and continued in Captain Marvel. Now, in Captain Marvel 25, Rick is about to get arrested for a murder that he did not commit. Rick's love interest, Luann, seemingly betrays him by confirming he shot his uncle, and Rick is pissed. In the next issue as Captain Marvel, he comes in hot and he's seeking answers. Luann explains to Captain Marvel that Saturn's moon is ruled by a monster named Thanos, trying to be dictator of the universe, and that he can also control the minds of people through slave discs, and no earthly science can remove these slave discs. These discs are now all over the world's leaders. So under Thanos, Skrag and the Krolls have been controlling people. Luann says that they only can control certain words and actions, not everything, which isn't necessarily true. In fact, she set his ass up. Both the Thing from Fantastic Four and Captain Marvel were set up and led to the same place. Luann said that was where they took her. The Thing was led there to fight, but ended up getting blasted by some device that took away his voice. So he inevitably runs into Captain Marvel, and Marvel thinks that he's Skrull. So they start beefing. This was part of an elaborate plan to get Marvel to kill the Thing, which would drive him insane once he realizes that he killed an innocent. But it doesn't work. Between the fight, the Thing was hit with an electrical charge that allowed him to get his voice back. So that plan failed, and Thanos is now pissed. He turns Skrag into stone. The Thing and Marvel go to investigate, and we really see how strong Thanos is, because he knocks out the Thing by just flicking his fingers, and had the ability to turn Captain Marvel back to Rick Jones without hesitation. Now, moving on to issue number 27, you have to understand that Thanos is seeking information that is in the mind of Rick Jones. He's transported to Titan with Thanos so he can be put in the Mind Cyclone. And because Thanos has somehow managed to suppress Captain Marvel, here we are. The information that Thanos wants from Rick, he claims he needs to assure his plans to conquer the galaxy. He's looking for the location of the most powerful weapon ever created, and Rick doesn't even know that he knows this. Thanos is looking for the cosmic cube. Thanos extracted the coordinates from the mind of Rick Jones and heads back to Earth. But out of nowhere, Mentor and Eros, Thanos' father and brother, show up and free Rick from shackles. They let him in on the dangers of war. They mention what it has done to their home. This sends Rick into sort of an emotional breakdown. He's pissed at the idea that Thanos plans to do this to the entire galaxy, and that brings out Captain Marvel. And in this time period, a lot is going on. Back on Earth, Thanos is heading to the coordinates to get the cosmic cube, but he does nothing but run into Drax the Destroyer. Also, Luann visits the Avengers, and Marvel is fighting Super Skrull, who possesses the power of the Fantastic Four, but he is defeated. Mentor then sends Marvel back to Earth, where he links up with the Avengers and sees a dying Luann. Now, issue 28 is where things get intense. In chapter 1, there's dialogue between Captain Marvel and the Avengers expressing the threat that Thanos is, especially if he gets his hands on the Cosmic Cube. Iron Man reminds everybody that he too had a brief battle, referencing Iron Man 55. But there's also an intruder sneaking around the Avengers spot, picking them off one by one. But it isn't Thanos. It's the Controller who reveals himself to Captain Marvel, also revealing that he was the one that planted the slave disc. And chapter 2 deals with the plex between Thanos and Drax the Destroyer. Now keep in mind, this isn't really the same Drax in the MCU. This Drax is hella powerful. So the fight starts with Thanos using sync warp to alter reality. He's doing everything from creating clones to seemingly altering gravity in a sense. He's trying to drive Drax mad, but he survives, though knocked unconscious. Oddly enough, Thanos doesn't kill him. Instead, he alludes to being previously scared of Drax, but he no longer is a threat as he now grabs the Cosmic Cube. And chapter 3 deals with the fight between the Controller and Marvel. Controller reveals that he can use the slave disc to essentially give him power, making him strong. In the scuffle, we also get a glimpse of how strong Thor is, as Marvel, thinking to himself, says that it would take someone like Thor to match him. Regardless, the disc ends up not even working on him because technically Rick Jones and Captain Marvel are two minds. This chapter ends with Controller throwing part of a building of some sort onto Marvel, who weirdly turns back into Rick, who is stuck under all of this debris, unable to summon Captain Marvel. Woo! So that's going to wrap it up with part 1 of Who the Hell is Thanos. In the next video, we'll go through Captain Marvel 29 through 33. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to share it out. And if you have other arcs, be it DC or Marvel, that you'd like me to go through, feel free to let me know in the comment section. Also, keep in mind that I tried to keep this video under about 8 minutes. Now, I can do more in-depth videos going like 20 minutes and above, really diving into some of these stories. If that's something that you'd be more interested in, just let me know. But for right now, just keeping it short because I really don't know how y'all's attention span is.